And hello, everybody. This is Chris from the Stewart Buzz. We are here today for just another podcast, believe it or not. At least one every day. I'm here with Natasha, and she actually came up with something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Natasha? What do you want to talk about?
We're going to talk about guiltless alone time.
Guiltless alone time. Like, what does that mean?
It means enjoying time to yourself without feeling guilty about it.
Appreciating just you being alone, whether it be walking through the park, taking a swim in the ocean, walking on the beach, just guiltless alone time. And I guess what that means is if you have a significant other and you just want to get away and have no guilt in doing so, and you have kids and you have the whole hustle and bustle of life, why don't you deserve just to be able to get away and ground yourself? That's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
How did you come across this guiltless thing you're talking about? And how old are you, like 10?
I will be 34 tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
34.
Yeah.
Where the hell was I when I was 34? What was I ever 34? I don't know.
Were you 34?
I don't think so.
Jumped to 60.
Yeah, I think I jumped to 60-something years old.
Okay.
That's true. So tell me about this. And tell me, why do you think you need it?
So I came up with this topic because I'm a mother of two and I love being with my kids, but sometimes it just gets to be a lot and you have to reground yourself and rebuild your energy so that you can put it back into others.
Correct.
Share it with others.
But, so have you ever just walked with your kids on the beach or walk through the woods with your kids, explore, show them about the wonderful things that you would do? Most moms, just to give you a heads up, don't take that time for themselves. Don't they get lost and they
lose their identity. They become mom instead of themselves.
Right. I call them soccer moms.
Yeah.
So that's all they do. That's all they know. Their friends are usually 5. And so they really don't have any interaction with people their age. And eventually they lose their identity and tend to fight. It's the way it goes.
And the truth is your kids are going to grow up and move out one day and you'll be alone. So you have to love yourself. I know that every time I leave, I'm not even down the street and I already feel guilty for leaving them because I do take them everywhere with me. They're very much part of my heart and my soul and my life.
How old are they?
I have a 7-year-old and a 1-year-old.
7 and 1-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a 35-year-old and a 17-year-old, which I'm going to see the 17-year-old next month, graduate high school.
Wow. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Well, that's going to be fun. We'll have a podcast about that. So when is the last time you took time for yourself to do what you're doing?
I used to do it weekly. Once a week, I would take an hour or two to myself to either go for a run or have dinner with a friend or just sit somewhere and relax. Recently, my life has kind of changed a bit. Last Friday night, I went out to dinner with a friend.
Okay. And how did that make you feel?
Like I said before, when I leave I feel guilty. I feel like I'm not doing the right thing. But I tell myself that they're okay. There was somebody that loves them. They're going to be okay. And I just...
Who's that? Their dad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And to relay this message over to, I'll use the word single moms. because this is probably going to be geared more towards the single mom type of thing. It is okay to leave your children for a little while with either a babysitter, their grandmother, their father, whatever, and you to go and do something that you like to do to keep your identity. So that's what you're working on right now.
Right.
And trying to better yourself and give yourself time, because you are young and you have a whole life ahead of you. I just don't. Like once a month, once a week. How do you go about that?
I guess it would depend on your ability to find childcare. If you can do it more often, the better. Once a week, pick a day. Every Tuesday, you take a break to yourself for an hour. Make it 2 hours. Then eventually take a whole day to yourself, a whole night to yourself.
So I know people older than you and have older children that their children still cling to them, and that they do not have freedom at all, and their life still revolves around their children. No, I'm talking about the child being 19 and the parent being in their 50s. They're still clinging on to them, and they don't have an identity at all anymore. What do you recommend to tell people like that? Because in my opinion, the way you're doing it, I think is a very cool way of doing it. And I really think that you have information that you can share to people to make them realize, hey, guys, you're not the only ones out there that have this situation. You're not the only one. So it has to do with guys. They need their alone time. Me personally, I don't need my alone time. I work a lot, and that is my alone time here in the store. I love it. But I honestly don't need the alone time. I'm different in the sense than you are, is that I like, even if it's just watching TV with someone, I just like that. I don't know why. That's just something that I do like. So not everybody needs that alone time, but the people that do, you best to find a way to do it. So this week you're doing something. Next week you're going to plan on doing something. Now your life is changing sort of drastically, no?
Yes, very much so.
And so how are you going to cope with that?
I am.
And the reason I'm asking this is there are women out there that are going through situations that are going to be similar to yours. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
Sure.
But if you want to tell them, so maybe they can get some insight of how to cope with the things that you have to be coping with now. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. I'm going through a divorce right now, and I don't have any family that's close by. So it's really hard to find somebody to help with the kids. So I am very much hoping that he will be supportive in sharing time so that he can spend time with them as well. It's hard to be away from my kids. That's one of the hardest things that held me back in this divorce, is that I don't want to share them. I want them to be with me all the time. And it really hurts when I'm away from them. But as I mentioned before, when I'm leaving the house, driving down the street, I have this huge pile of guilt, this feeling like I shouldn't be leaving my children. They should be with me all the time. I need to be taking care of them all the time. But then I have to remind myself that I'm also a person, and I also need time to heal. And when I'm with my children, I hide my feelings. I can't process the loss of the divorce or the loss of the marriage, and I can't process moving forward when I'm around them, because I have this strong exterior, this mask on. Everything's okay. Mommy's okay. I'm here, let's play. So when I step away, it gives me a chance to just be myself for a second, process it, build up some strength, and get back to being a mom, because it is a full-time job.
Well, if her face looks familiar, guys, she was on a podcast earlier on. So if you go to the videos, you'll actually see her. It is a little bit AI generated to make it look just a little bit different.
Silver linings.
This is the young lady that was on there, sort of lost. And there is a course that I teach called the Law of Attraction, trying to change all the negatives into positives, trying to get you to love yourself again, get you to move forward on life and stuff like that. Do you find something like that helpful? Do you find it a waste of time? But I will tell you that it is also time to get away, which is very cool too. So even if they don't go to somebody like myself, because I'm not looking for any advertisements or anything like that, or to read a book about it, or to do something like that, maybe you can do that, something uplifting. But the reason I wanted you to come on is that I wanted everybody to know that they are not alone. You're not alone going through this. Now, you're in a unique situation as well, is that where you live is still a difficult place to live.
Right. We're still living together. And that's tough.
So do you cook for him? Does he cook for you? Do you cook for the kids only and not him? Because, you could be civil as well, I guess, can't you?
We're trying our best to be civil, and we offer each other food, and we take turns cooking for the children, and try to just give each other space.
Okay, cool. So what is the message that you want to give to a single mom or a single dad that would make them realize, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can get through this without, going crazy in life and getting your second wind or some stupid thing like that. What is your message to them?
My message is the rut that you're stuck in is not permanent. You can get out of it. You have a long life ahead, and you deserve to be happy.
And some people do go through this in their 50s. Some people do it in their 60s, 40s. The age is just crazy. Broken marriages are probably more known than solid marriages these days. It's just the way it is. My parents were married 63 years. And, so there's more divorces than there are in stable marriages. But I just want people to know that perfect example. She has to get through something. So she has two choices. You get through something and be a total mess, or you go through something and try to keep your identity, try to be you still. That's extremely important. So I think what you're doing is the right way to do it.
Is or is not?
Is.
Okay.
No, because if you don't do it that way, what other way could there be other than self-sabotage?
Right. I mean,
and
you could either hurt yourself or you can grow.
Like say, for instance, the song "Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places." That's probably before your time, but people do that. They call that rebound, by the way. It's not a good idea. Dr. Ruth. Have you ever heard of Dr. Ruth?
I have not.
Okay, so Dr. Ruth used to be this little 4'10" lady who used to give advice. And she said, once you go through a divorce, do not be with anybody for at least a year. Get to know yourself again. But what the really cool thing is, you're not even divorced yet, and you're taking the steps to get to know yourself again. And to me, that's like golden. It's a great lesson. To every negative, there is a what?
Positive.
That's right. So you getting divorced, what is the positive to that?
My beautiful children is the positive to it. I'll always be grateful to that.
And I'm glad that you said that, because most people stay married, and I have them sitting right in front of me when I talk to them, and they said, "Well, I can't get divorced because I have children."
No.
So you're teaching your children to stay in a dysfunctional marriage. Is that what you want to do? And that's what I said to them. And they're like, "Well, no." I said, "But your kids aren't stupid, you know. They're going to grow up realizing that there's a loveless relationship there, and then you're going to teach them that that is acceptable to be able to do." I think the way you're doing it, your kids already know certain things, I'm sure. Now, maybe not the 1-year-old.
May I share what we said to the kids?
Yeah, sure.
The 7-year-old definitely understands. The 1-year-old, like he mentioned, probably not so much. But we told her that we've decided to separate and that we're still friends. And I think that gives her a lot of comfort knowing that we're going to show up together and that we're friends. Even though it doesn't feel like it right now, I do believe that we can be friends because we're going to be part of each other's lives forever. I want to parent together. Growing up, my parents were divorced and they used us as pawns against each other. And it caused a lot of damage. And I wish that they could have shown up together and said, we're friends, even if they're really not friends, you know?
The one thing that I disagree with is when you have split custody, 50-50. So 3 days you go over to your dad's house, and then the rest of the days you go over to your mom's house. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's not the way it should be. Now, if you're a good mom, I believe the children should live with their mom and stay with their dad, maybe go with their dad maybe a Friday and Saturday or a Saturday and Sunday, and then the dad brings back. It could be every weekend. Sometimes it's every other weekend. But, I mean, think about the burden that you have to pack it. You have to have like luggage with you. It's usually a backpack that they take with them and stuff. And they go over there. There's clothes there. There's things there like that. And they have their probably own room and stuff like that. But it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I find it very like taxing on the child and not really knowing where is home.
Exactly. That's how I felt as a kid. They just popped us back and forth.
Did they do that to you? I mean, that's...
Yeah. I never felt like I truly had my room, my home.
Right. So I didn't do that. So when I got divorced, I didn't do that. I didn't think it was right. I really didn't think it was right. I thought that the child belonged with their mom. And I said that. I said, children belong with their mom. And now, mind you, okay, your mom's not an addict or your mom's not like, you know, some...
psychopath.
Right. So she's a good mom. Like, you're a good mom. So
Thank you.
I believe that the child belongs with their mom for the nurturing part of it. And then on the weekends, they can be with their dad. And mind you, when I was divorced, if I said, hey, can I come over and get Chris and we're going to go play football? It's like, there's no unwritten rule. No, you can't come over. No, there was nothing like that. That's how it is when you become friends with the person who you get divorced from.
Right.
So
it's about what benefits the children.
Right. Not necessarily what benefits you. So it's what benefits the child. And I will never forget. My son said to me, Dad, I always remember us going to the football field and playing football. And so I love that part because I didn't live that far away, and I would call up. Now, respect the woman and always call Don't just go over. Always call and say, is it all right if I come and pick up so-and-so and we're going to go do something? So she can say, well, I have plans. I'm really, okay, fine, no problem. But sometimes it'll be, sure, no problem. And it's good for the kid. But the kid has a home. The kid has a room. And all this stuff is in the room. But if they, like what your parents would do to you, if you went over to the other place, now I'm just saying, in case there were trophies and stuff, there's not all the trophies in the room. There's not all the pictures hanging up in the room. It's just a room. Because you're gonna have one room that has everything, and then the other room, which is just where you sleep, kind of thing. I know it sounds weird, but that's kind of really what happens. And the kid kind of feels almost like they're staying in a hotel. It's kind of weird. So think outside the box. Put your anger aside and put the love for your children first, because that's who should really be first. Going all the way back to your guilt-free alone time, that's important. So that's when the father can take the children and go and do what they want. Now, when you guys eventually sell your house and you have a different place and he has a different place and all this other fine stuff, that can be that time that you can agree, okay, that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
And he can agree that that's what he's going to do. I think that's a perfect idea, honestly. That guilt-free alone time. I've never heard it called that before. I guess I did it without knowing I did it and not putting a name to it, which I think is a pretty cool name to it. So,
and I feel like even without children, even if you're just in a relationship with somebody, you should still take some alone time to go do things that you like for yourself, away from your spouse, or, be alone for a minute.
But what happens is if your time, you like to be with your spouse.
That's good too. Of course, you love to be with them, and they shouldn't take it personally that you want to do something on your own.
So we're in two totally different generations, by the way. So I can't imagine going out without Jeannie by my side, because I would rather her be by my side and go do something and explore and have fun and, whatever. I never, even as a child, even as a grown man married, everything, I never had what they call a guy's night out.
Why not?
Did you
think you would hurt her feelings?
No, I just wanted to be with them, and instead of hanging out with a bunch of guys, I'm not like that. That's not who I am.
What about just by yourself? Other than
the only time I would go by myself is if I worked out, if I went to the gym.
Well, that's a really good one too. Go to the gym.
Yeah, that's the only time that I would do something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, guys, if you want to do that, you can do that. But, that's what I did. I went to the gym. They didn't like going to the gym. I like going to the gym. So that's what I did. It's not like me going out to a bar. I think the first bar I went to is probably in my 50s.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was a really not geeky kid, but, I didn't do really
antisocial. I find that hard to believe.
I was not antisocial. I was extremely shy. So I was shy in high school. When I graduated high school and I started becoming this weightlifting dude, I was a weightlifting dude in high school, but I was a pretty shy guy in high school. So I was afraid to really ask anybody out in high school. It's just the way it was.
That's sad. I'm sure you would have landed.
No, I'm fine. it didn't matter. I was married, I think, at 23 or 24. And
Was that your first girlfriend?
no, I don't think so. No. First meaningful one, I would guess I would say. But I was just, it was a different time. It was a different time than it is now. Now, forget it. You guys are all screwed up. But that's all right. You know that already. Come on, even Gen Zs now. You're not a Gen Z, you're a millennial.
Yeah.
So the Gen Zs, we did a podcast on the Gen Zs. They're totally off their rocker. My daughter is a Gen Z. I believe she's 17. That's a Gen Z, right? So she's a strange cookie too. But she's wonderful. She's beautiful. She's great, but she's a Gen Z. They're totally different. I mean, these kids want to work, 4 hours a day and preferably work at home so that they can just stay in their pajamas and work off a laptop. And they don't think they really need a 40-hour work week. They think that maybe they should have a 20-hour work week.
I think that really hurts the social skills.
I think so. It does.
When you go out nowadays, you see people sitting at a table together and they're both on their phone. That drives me nuts.
It's true.
If you're with me, don't be on your phone.
Yes, I am a little bit guilty of that, by the way.
Don't do it.
But I'm only doing it because I want to see how my podcast is doing.
You're just checking in with somebody.
I was looking at my podcast. So
I check my phone to make sure my kids are okay, but I'm not scrolling. I'm not talking to somebody else. If I'm with you, I'm hanging out with you,
Look at this, my podcast now.
That's amazing.
So
you gotta watch these guys. They are all really, really beneficial.
We do have fun. We have Wendy as a normal. We have Kaylee, and sometimes just me. But tomorrow's Sunday. We're going to have Esther Bay on. And then next Tuesday, we're going to have this massage dude that's coming on that, I don't know, does some sort of magical massage stuff. I don't know what it is.
Oh, cool.
But
it is magical, isn't it?
The guy seemed pretty cool to me. So he's going to come on. And hopefully that'll be a great podcast. I believe it will be. But any last words that you want to talk to the moms that are going through something right now, or getting divorced, or how to deal with a child, or, because there's some moms that think being a mom is like overwhelming.
Yeah, moms and dads here, because it's hard being a dad too. It's a lot of responsibility.
There's nothing like a mom. Sorry.
Moms, you're rock stars. You are the role model for your kids. Think about, if my daughter was in a relationship like this, would I want her to stay? And if the answer is no, you leave. Believe in yourself. Find something like I have with, the class with Chris. Find something that builds you up, that helps you believe in yourself. You have the power inside. You just have to find it.
That's awesome. That you can't get more sincere than that. That was absolutely amazing. I guess I gotta say,
speechless. He's speechless, guys.
I am, and I'm not often speechless.
Do I see a tear there?
I'm not often speechless. First of all, I miss my mom.
Yes,
I do.
I love when you talk about her on the podcast. She sounds like a phenomenal person.
You're gonna cry now.
Okay, I'll stop.
I miss my mom. Do I miss my dad? Yeah, I miss my dad, but my dad's my dad. My mom is my mom. All right, that nothing can replace, on a whole, for the most part, I'd probably say, 75% to 80% of the people that are living, their mom is their mom. Their dad is the one that, works hard all day. And, that's my era, though. Your era is the mom works hard all day and the dad works hard all day because you have to survive. But I can say that I know it sounds really mean. I don't miss my dad as much as I miss my mom. And everybody knows what I do for a living. But I can't talk to my parents.
No?
No.
But you know they're there, right?
But I'm going to tell you something really messed up.
Okay.
And it's really messed up.
Okay.
The day before Mother's Day, we're like, sleeping. And inside my dining room, the fan comes on. No, the fan doesn't come on. The light comes on at like 3 a.m. Day before Mother's Day. What the, why is this light coming on? I had to get up. I had to shut off the light on the fan.
Okay.
All right. No big deal.
Weird, but okay. Go back to bed. Gotcha.
Right. Mother's Day, the fan in the bedroom. Now, mind you, the fan is on. The light is off at 5:45. What time I wake up every morning, that light turns on. Now the remote is nowhere near me. I have to get up and I have to make sure I shut that off. I couldn't shut it off. It wouldn't shut off. Kept on pressing the button. Oh, son of a... really? Once I shut it off, I go outside. The door comes back on.
Somebody trying to say something to you, you think?
Yes, and that is not my mom, but that is Jeannie's. Jeannie's mom is always good with the lights. And I got to tell you, it happened again, I believe it was yesterday, and it came on to the point where I got sick and tired of it, and I just shut off the damn fan. The light switched to the power, everything. And I said, okay, I'm going to bed. That's it. Done. So it's really, really strange how people can communicate with you. I don't know how we went from a mom getting divorced and taking care of her kids to missing your moms.
I think that you're saying is that your mom is special and that
I think every mom is special.
Yeah, every mom is special and they're always going to be with you if they're alive or not.
Are you close to your mom at all?
I am now. We've had our moments.
Everybody's had their moments with somebody,
Yeah. When you go to a certain age where you become an adult, if the mom is a smother and they don't want to let you be who you want.
I call helicopter moms.
Yes. Then you be who you want to be and they're either going to accept you. And sometimes that takes time and distance, and then eventually they come back around and there may be somebody else in your life that didn't birth you that is a mother to you. And I think those people are extremely important too. My aunt couldn't have her own children, but she mothered all of her nieces and nephews.
That's awesome.
She treated us all exactly the same. And it was amazing. We grew in her belly. I mean,
it's adorable.
She is an amazing person.
Guys, if you found this educational or entertaining in any way, shape, or form, you can always hit the like button, and you can hit the thanks button as well. And you can also hit the subscribe button so you can see more of these podcasts, because we do one every day, at least every day, if not 2 or 3 every day. We find a time to do that. So listen, I thank you, Natasha, for coming on.
You're welcome.
You're a wealth of information because you're going through something and you're trying to survive this difficult time. I'm not going to say impossible time because I know that you'll get through it. But thank you for educating the people out there, both men and women, and hopefully that you guys got something out of it. So I'm going to go, and I just wish everybody an amazing day, and God bless.
Peace out.